The content in this magazine could contain references of topics and difficult subject matter that may be triggering. Please honor yourself, inner knowing, and proceed with whatever help or guidance you feel is intuitively aligned. Welcome to Sovereign Magazine Podcast. I'm Nicole George, CEO and founder of Sovereign. I'm so happy you are here. We are the magazine podcast and community guiding 5 million women to their sovereign selves. From heart-led conversations to magical meditations, our inspiring guests will show you how they can help you step into your sovereign self. Are you ready to listen to your inner voice and step into your power? Then keep listening to hear all of the intuitive messages meant for you today. Hello! Today I have the privilege of connecting with Trisha Perez, one of our amazing contributors. She has gone from government systems to soulful entrepreneurship. She bridges the practical with the mystical and is an expert in progressive technologies, entrepreneurial ventures, holistic healing arts, womb wisdom, and pelvic care, as well as conscious wealth activation. She is here to guide visionary women to embody feminine power, awaken intuitive wisdom, and create an abundant life. Welcome, Trish.
Thank you so much. What an honor and pleasure to be part of this podcast episode.
Oh, I'm so excited. We were talking before and you're like, wow, we're really going to go there, aren't we? Yes, we are. So for anybody who is looking to free themselves, that is our August full moon theme. And we're going there today. So get ready because we have an incredible episode for you today. In Trisha's article, The Sacred Art of Liberation and Rebirth, she really takes us on a very deep embodied journey through the illusions of how us women keep ourselves bound into the sacred center of our wombs, and then finally through the fire of a radical rebirth. And for those who haven't had the chance to read your article yet, but will, why don't you recap a little bit about that journey for them so they can kind of have an understanding of what we'll be talking about today?
Yes, well, with liberation and rebirth, actually, it is the courage to die that part of yourself or to go through that death, sometimes uninvited, the courage to go through it and come out of it through being reborn into this new version of yourself, a new you, a new body, a new mind, a new spirit. That is liberation. And the freedom to be who you really are, your most honest, transparent, authentic you.
Yes. I love that because in your article, one of the things that I appreciated the most about it was when you start to describe true freedom as something that's not necessarily polished or external, but it's kind of like this ancient wisdom, like an ability to reclaim a wild essence within us and really kind of leaving behind the shoulds and something that we've been, I don't want to necessarily say bred, but really bred to believe about us and really stepping more into our sovereignty and becoming who we really are. Wouldn't you say?
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. It's those magic words, ancient, wild essence. And what that translates to or signifies is it's not external, it's internal. It lives within our bodies, within our cells. It prevails as the waters and the rivers of our wombs. And because our wombs, it holds this ancient, what we say ancient, but really primordial truth, this very real And I say real because it this very real realm and portal between the physical and non-physical parts of our worlds, whether if it's our own internal world or the world around us.
For sure. So let's back up a little bit to the journey beyond these illusions and how you talk about illusions keeping women bound. What do you feel are some of the most common illusions that maybe perhaps you see in your world that are holding women back and how it's showing up in their daily lives?
Mm, yeah, so what we say are illusions are the programming or the conditioning of limiting self-beliefs, or sometimes we don't realize they're limiting self-beliefs that keep us diluted from our power. And a lot, like one example of that is the term people pleasing. Well, that can come in the form of always putting someone else first over us. And of course, there are certain situations that absolutely call for that. It could be in a survival type of situation, whatever the case may be. But on a daily basis, that's a huge example that we don't realize we do, is that we don't realize we choose subconsciously or unconsciously placing value or priority of something or someone external over us to our detriment, to our harm. We don't realize it comes in very small, nuanced ways. And as a result of that, over time, we don't realize we leak our energies and our power.
So, what do you think are some ways we can maybe begin to break free from these conditionings or beliefs that have kind of kept us small or limited?
Well, I think that breaking free means bringing awareness. So to break free is to be aware. And when we bring awareness, it's because we are ready to receive. That's something very powerful. So that's one way to break free, is to actually be able to receive so we can be more aware.
Mm. So, if we're perhaps ready to receive this wisdom, this ancient wisdom, and we want to help guide women to something that they have innately within them, which is that sacred center of their womb, right? Can you share, maybe for those who aren't familiar with this womb wisdom, what would it mean for a woman to connect to this wisdom? And why is that space for a woman so transformative?
What would it mean for a woman to recenter to her womb? Well, it would mean rest, sacred rest, and being fully present with her own self, with her own body, with her own mind, her thoughts, her passions. It is about holding space for your own self. There's this question, like a question of, well, when do I get to rest? Who's going to help me? And blah, 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 blah. Well, that's true. It does take a village to help and support. And it really is nourishing when we receive that. At the same time, we must take a moment for ourselves to just be with our own bodies, our own souls, our own minds and hearts, and really go within and deep. And that could take time, and then there's questions of, well, when am I going to have time? I don't have time in a day. I get that. I totally get that. At the same time, I do encourage every one of us to take 5 to 90 seconds. Doesn't that sound manageable? Right? It doesn't have to be a production. It doesn't have to be complex or complicated. or difficult. It can be very simple and minimal. And in that simplicity and minimalism, there's an elegance to that. And that's what it means to recenter, is reclaiming our power, reclaiming our abundance. It's realigning to what is true for ourselves. It is also luxuriating our days and the way we move about in our worlds. It is about abundance. And it's just that reconnection to, again, what is truth. And the truth is, what it means is that we come home to our God selves.
Yeah. And I think so many of us are on that autopilot, on that busy day. We are not connecting in to ourselves. And so many people think rest makes you less productive. I always say rest makes you actually more productive. I say rest equals productivity because when you, like you said, recalibrate, you have rested to the point where the thing that might have taken you 3 minutes maybe now only takes you one because you've had that rest. And people don't see that. They think of, oh, I'm now losing 15 minutes out of my day. But what if the things that came out of your new sense of alignment after resting allows you to have this deep embodiment of the concepts of who you truly are versus the external validation of who we're supposed to be. And I would love to kind of veer a little bit into this. You know, we've talked a little bit about the sacred center of our womb and harnessing that wisdom, but you also talk about the concept of radical rebirth and how powerful but yet sometimes daunting that can be for a woman. So, what do you think would be, you know, some good steps for a woman to maybe dip her toe into this fire and emerged transformation, this radical rebirth? You know, we don't want to go all in and scare people, but what would a radical rebirth mean for somebody? That might be a new concept. And maybe perhaps what might that look like on a daily basis?
Okay, I need to take a moment. That's quite profound. So radical rebirth. We can approach that rebirth as simple as when we go to sleep and we wake up in the new day. So there's something radical in our new mindset, in our new intention and energy and vibration, in being reborn every day. First thing in the morning, what is it that we want to be? What is it that love would do? What would kindness look like? What is the tone to set? And we have that power. We completely have that sovereignty, that strength. Radical rebirth is, that's what it looks like on the daily. If I have to put it in very tangible, visceral, tactile manner,
I love
that
that.
we are reborn every day.
I love that. I never thought about each day being reborn from the concept of what I thought about was, you know, if you go to bed angry the next morning, most likely you won't be angry, right? That feeling has kind of passed and moved through you and you might have some new thoughts around the situation that made you angry. Or I often get a lot of downloads right when I wake up because my subconscious is still there. And
Mhm.
so I never ever thought about each night going to bed and then being reborn the next day. What an incredible concept. And actually, if you think about it, that's really ritualistic. What a
Very,
ritual to think about. I get to go to bed and be reborn tomorrow, and I'm not the same person I was
yeah.
yesterday. That is beautiful.
Let's say you do go to bed angry, okay? There's still an opportunity a moment in which we can be the creator of our lives and our realities, and to transmute and alchemize that. Not when we say transmute and alchemize, it doesn't mean bypass, it doesn't mean we override it. It means we are taking it and changing the energy. So we're working with it. We're still feeling it, we're still acknowledging it, we're still loving that emotion, whether if it's unfavorable or not. So we find the opportunity or the moment to kind of slip into this sacredness. And it could be a matter of seconds or nanoseconds. We just like, it could come from in a form of self inquiry of, okay, I'm angry or pissy here, but let me just sleep on it. I'll feel better tomorrow. Something like that. We don't realize we already do that, and that we already practice tuning in to our ancient wild essence of our wisdom and more. And the next day we are reborn. Now, if you get up on the wrong side of bed, you can get on the wrong side of bed, and then what? What do you do to, or what choice do you make to change that up so you can feel more powerful, more strong, and more free in your day? From day to day, we don't realize that we are reborn.
Are you looking for a space that actually feels good to be in? Join the Sovereign Community, the soul aligned social media platform made for conscious women like you. No ads, no trolls, no doom scrolling, just real women from around the globe sharing meaningful conversations, support, and a sense of community. It is free to join, free to be you, and full of women walking their sovereign path. Come be part of the movement. Join us today. Okay, let's connect to this power. So, we're going to go into our special segment, Steps to Your Sovereign Self. And Trish is going to give you a 3-minute meditation to help you return to the power of your womb. So, this is such a powerful episode about how you can break down those things that are bonding you to illusions and stories and limiting beliefs, how you can connect into your womb wisdom, and how you can step into the fire of rebirth. Take it away, Trish.
Okay, this is about the return to the womb of your power. So, welcome, beloveds. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, just very naturally. Let the day soften. Let the noise fade. Let yourself arrive right here, right now. Gently bring your awareness to the base of your spine, to your hips, to all your bones, to these places that anchor you. To the place that remembers. Feel yourself drop into the sanctuary of your body. No performance, no production, no rush, just presence. And as you breathe, imagine a warm, golden light spiraling from your root up into your womb space, your energetic center of creation. Let it pool there. Let it swirl. Let it awaken and bloom. This is the origin. This is the source of power, of intuition, of wealth, of life itself. Let your breath begin to kiss this place gently, tenderly, and inhale expansion and exhale gratitude. And with every breath you return to yourself. With every breath you remember who you are. Now say silently or aloud, I am the architect of my world. I create from the deepest truth within me. I allow my presence to ripple, to root, to rise. One more breath. One more sacred pause. You are here. You are ready. You are magnetic. And let your eyes flutter open or stay softly closed and receive what's next from this place of your embodied power. Thank you and welcome home, beloveds.
Oh, you are so magical. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful initiation today for anyone who hasn't done womb work. Like, this has just been your call to come on in and feel the sacredness of all of you with Trish, who is in our amazing sovereign communities, community.sovereign-magazine.com. You can find all of her details on how to connect with her on all her socials in our show notes. And for anyone who is ready to go deeper with her, definitely connect because she is here to help guide you through your sacred womb, through the fire of your radical rebirth. This has been an absolutely magical session between power outages and everything. I mean, it's just amazing. So, thank you for being here today and sharing your gifts with us.
Thank you, lovely listeners, for your open hearts and open ears. And thank you to Sovereign Magazine.
You're such a gift. I can't wait for you on the next one. She's coming again, so don't you worry. Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with another soul-led entrepreneur here to help you step into your sovereign self. Subscribe to our magazine and podcast and join our global community for all the magic. Details to connect with today's guest or join the movement are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. It helps us reach our goal of guiding 5 million women to self-sovereignty.